My boyfriend Harry lost his memory by accident. Luckily, his brain isn't damaged too bad. Harry's first love, Wendy, confessed she's still into him. Harry said, coming to me after getting kicked out by her old man. Some friends were secretly egging him on to dump me. Harry was like, are they trying to boss me around now? Even Harry's adopted sister, Lily, was trying to butt in, saying they grew up together as childhood pals. Harry didn't say a word this time but just threw them out the door. I was standing on the side, laughing out loud. Then he turned to me and snapped, trying to get attention. He told me to get my hands off his waist first before he'd continue. Harry lost his memory when a billboard smashed into him on the street. At that time, I was in the store trying on a wedding dress. My hands shook, and I ended up ruining a $2,000 veil. Once I calmed down, I asked for details. Larry, his assistant, mumbled on the phone. Kate, you'd better get over here. Harry's situation is kinda complicated. Because of Larry's attitude. I pictured Harry all busted up, missing limbs and everything. But I bit the bullet anyway. 3 years of relationship isn't easy to throw away, right? Even if Harry became a vegetable, I'd still marry him. When I got to the hospital, I understood why Larry was being so vague. Harry's memory loss was a bit unique. A blood clot in the back of his brain messed up his memories. He forgot only me, forgot our 3 years together. And the reason he got hit by the billboard was somehow related to Wendy. Right now, she was sitting outside Harry's hospital room, crying her eyes out. Harry, you're so silly, getting hurt to save me. I took a closer look at her. Long flowing hair, pure and cute, a classic first love face. Word has it she was Harry's first love. They dated for 7 years from high school to college. Later, Wendy went abroad, and they broke up. The next year, Harry and I met through a blind date. We clicked immediately, even met each other's parents. Our wedding is set for next month. Before all this, Harry never mentioned having a first love like Wendy. It was once at a dinner party that a friend let it slip accidentally. Kate, you're really lucky. From what she said, past Harry was different. He was a shy guy who'd jog 3 blocks for ice cream just because his girlfriend pouted. As for now, with that sharp tongue of his, Harry has probably broken many hearts of those who fancied him. That's why, when he brought me home, his parents were overjoyed. Kate, we're so lucky to have you in our family. Privately, I couldn't help but ask Harry about Wendy. Don't bring up that black history, will ya? He might sound dismissive. But he honestly admitted that Wendy cheated, that she betrayed him once. He turned and scolded that loose-lipped friend. 3 years in the relationship, Harry's been the clear-headed one. I never had to say a word. Other women around him just got mad and left. But now, I'm not so sure. Feeling a bit nervous, even uncertain. In the hospital room, Harry was clutching his injured head, staring at Wendy with a dark gaze. She blushed furiously. At the door, my heart sank. Oh no. That focused stare must mean he's still got feelings for her. Following a typical script. Shouldn't I just bow out gracefully? But I wasn't ready. Harry was geared up either way. He kept a stone-cold face, saying familiar foul words. Forgot my past, not my mind. Thanks, girl. Move on back. He stunned Wendy. I love you so much, Harry. Came back just for you. Harry just responded with a tired oh. Keep things simple, lady. Simple lies, okay? Kicked out by an 80-year-old man, you failed to cling on. Is it that hard to admit? Too bad you placed your bets wrong. I'm no moron. Get lost. Wendy's eyes filled with tears. Harry, you're mistaken, Tears brimmed as Wendy looked misunderstood, staggering to the door. Talk about a wilting flower. Stop. Harry called out, his teeth gritted. I didn't tell you to leave. I knew it, Harry, you do have a heart for me deep down, don't you? Wendy's face lit up. Her doe eyes drenched with hope and gratitude. Fat chance. Wasted on a blind guy. Harry wasn't even looking at her. His eyes fixed on me, calm as still water. Yeah, you, the nurse at the door. Get this woman who got me hurt and call the cops, thanks. Nurse? I looked down. Wearing a white t-shirt and long pants hastily put on because I was in a rush to visit him. I was very impressed with Harry's performance up till now. But this made me grind my teeth. Great. Harry, just so you know, your wife's gone. Harry had no idea he'd lost his soon-to-be wife. All he wanted was Wendy out. Rumor mongers, die tonight. The heck would make me risk my life saving someone like you? So eager to leave, must be dodging blame. Sure, just run. Free prison meals are waiting. The continuous jabs left Wendy red in the face. The kind of red from utter embarrassment and shame. Harry, are you sure your head is okay? You'd never speak so harshly to me before. I'm worried you'll regret it. In half an hour, Wendy was regretting. Larry brought in surveillance footage from the incident. It showed. At 3 p.m., Harry left a jewelry store, walking normally. At 3:02, Wendy appeared before Harry, saying something then lunging at him. Harry backed off step by step, like he was confronting a wild animal. He then ducked under what appeared to be a precarious billboard. Then blood was everywhere. The footage cut off suddenly. Harry hadn't seen himself being so unfortunate and messy. His expression was stormy dark. He faced Wendy with a frosty stare. Medical bills, $3,800, hospital stay $1,500, add up the rest, workers' comp, nutrition costs, nice round number, $10,000. Cash or card? Faster you pay, the less the fees go up every minute. Harry muttered to himself. But why was I at that jewelry store? Obviously to get our wedding rings. But hold up. You're about to lose your wife. I looked at my boyfriend with a head wrapped like a mummy with pity. Why am I so calm? 'Cause there's nothing to worry about. Considering Harry's hostile attitude toward anyone and everyone, no woman would dare get close to him now. Wendy tried to come up with something but had no words. She grabbed her purse and rushed out in disgrace. So fast she could have competed in the Olympics. Seeing her take off pissed Harry off. He turned and scolded me, dead serious. What are you doing? Didn't I tell you to stop her? Pull such a rookie mistake again, and I'll file a complaint. Larry, standing behind, was so wide-eyed. His jaw so slack it could fit 2 eggs. I gave him a big, cheesy smile. Harry frowned again, with all the depth of the Mariana Trench. How are the nurses so snarky these days? Did I hire a god and not know it? Funny thing. Somebody did call me a goddess just last night in the bedroom. Finally, Larry couldn't take it anymore. He gingerly said, Harry, you got it wrong. Kate is your girlfriend. You guys are getting married next month. Impossible. Harry paused, then chilled. That dismissal was super fast. I don't like her type. I chuckled. He was this stubborn before. Next day, he begged for my number like his life depended on it. Fine, then it's over. Dropped the conversation and turned to head out the door. Just 2 steps out, I heard a heavy voice behind me. Turned around. There was Harry, with a bandage on his head, kneeling on the ground. Mouth wide open, looking all pitiful. Babe, I'm sorry. What? Harry's got the temperament of a dog, unbelievable. He looked shocked. In disbelief. Staring blankly at his knees. Harry was panicking. How am I getting so good at kneeling? I sighed. Well, because. He's got a lot of practice. Harry and I are both proud, never wanting to lose face. But in our 3 years of dating, he's always the first to give in. Babe, I'm sorry. Can you forgive me? Sometimes I haven't even made up my mind yet, and he'd be there kneeling on the keyboard, making me laugh. Now he's lost his memory and doesn't remember me. But his habit of loving me hasn't faded. Seeing his bewildered expression made most of my anger dissipate. It wasn't really Harry's fault either. He's a victim too, knowing nothing now. Judging him now would be unfair. I'll wait for him to get his memory back, then we can settle things. I went over to help him up from the floor and put him back in bed. Larry had already bolted. Harry stared blankly for a while and asked, "I really dated you?" I pulled out my phone and handed it to him. "See for yourself. Couple photos, chat history." Inside was all the sweetness from our years of dating. Harry's phone had been smashed to pieces at the scene. After looking through it, Harry's expression became increasingly lost. He still followed a cautious approach. "Mind if I use your phone to make a call?" I agreed. Caught a glance at the first few numbers he dialed. Oh, it's his mom's number. No need to call. "I contacted your parents right after the accident. They're flying in from abroad now. Can't get through by phone." Harry huffed, "Why should I listen to you?" But his hand obediently moved away from the call button. I raised an eyebrow, feeling oddly pleased. "Let's eat first." I ordered some takeout, lots of dishes, laid them out on the small table. Harry took the bowl and chopsticks, habitually picking out all the green onions. He piled the picked clean dishes in front of me. And then froze. Avoided my gaze, looking everywhere but at me. Harry's not picky with food. The one who truly doesn't like onions is me. Eating my favorite braised carp, I felt a little sweet inside. By the next afternoon, Harry was out of the hospital. No clue who leaked the news that he'd lost his memory. Friends started calling to check in. Even said there was a get-together arranged, Harry must attend. Lily even sent a message to me for this. "Kate, you're not going all insecure just because Harry forgot you, right? Be a bigger person, all clingy and stuff, embarrassing Harry." The sarcasm in that message was too clear. Lily, the one who once insinuated I'd lucked out and got scolded by Harry for it. If it weren't for her having a boyfriend. And David being one of Harry's longtime buddies. I'd suspect she had a thing for Harry. Women's intuition told me. Tonight's gathering would be anything but simple. That evening, I did a full makeover. Timed our entrance with Harry into the hotel suite. Someone's expression changed seeing me arrive. "Kate, aren't you a little too clingy with Harry? Can't even let us brothers have a gathering without you tagging along." Lily started off with her usual passive aggression. "It's different times now. Good women should be independent and strong." I was speechless. One moment it's about brothers, the next it's about women. Are you having some species identity crisis? Someone couldn't take it more than me. Can smell the jealousy from miles away. If you admire them so much, find someone to cling to you. Stop with the weird cryptic tones, it's gross. Harry's disdainful voice echoed through the room. The atmosphere froze. Lily's face went beet red. "Harry, I was just kidding. You don't have to take it so seriously." "Harry, then I'll just curse you out a couple of times, don't take it to heart either." The suite fell into awkward silence. Lily's face was as red as a beet. I clamped my mouth shut, trying not to burst out laughing. Harry's memory loss has made him even short-tempered, totally unfiltered. He found a comfy spot for me, then draped his jacket over my bare shoulders. "It's fall now, showing off here and there, watch out for arthritis when you're older." I rolled my eyes at him. It's not illegal to wear a strappy dress in 77-degree weather. Others started chatting, lightening the mood. As I enjoyed the crabs Harry peeled for me, I noticed Lily nervously glancing at her phone now and then. Her expression held a hint of urgency, like she was waiting for something. Halfway through the meal, she suddenly accidentally spilled water all over Harry. Then dramatically exclaimed, "Oh my, I had too much to drink and couldn't hold it steady." "Harry, are you okay?" Harry paused for a moment and then snapped, "How'd you manage to spill water on me from 3 seats away? Got Parkinson's late stage or something?" "Harry, I'm apologizing for Lily." "Come on, let's go get you cleaned up." David couldn't take it anymore and intervened, pulling Harry away. He shot me an apologetic look. I didn't think much of it, continued enjoying my food. But 5 minutes passed. Harry didn't come back. I noticed Lily picking up her phone and sneaking out too. Suspicious. I quietly followed. Saw Lily slip into a small suite at the end of the hallway. I peeked through the slightly ajar door. Frozen by what I saw inside. The suite wasn't big. Just about 100 square feet with 3 people inside. Harry, Lily, and Wendy. Harry, finally some time to sit and chat. Wendy looked at Harry, her gaze gentle as ever. "How have you been these years? Seeing you reminds me of our high school days." Whoa, starting off with a wave of nostalgia, huh? What a piece of work. I clenched my jaw, waiting to see Harry's reaction. If he goes for some sentimental reunion, I'll break his legs. Harry just responded with "oh" and then said, "Cut the crap, where's the compensation? Don't think you can slash the payment by rehashing past events, keep dreaming. 10 grand, short even a penny and I'll sue you, till you're behind bars for good." Wendy's deeply affectionate expression cracked at Harry's cold demand for money. But clearly, Wendy didn't plan to give up easily. After a moment, she recalibrated and began playing heartstrings with tears. "Harry, I know the breakup caused a lot of misunderstanding between us. But I had no choice, my family was in debt and this was the only way to pay it back. These years have been tough, but thinking of you gave me strength to live." At this point, she choked up, her eyes even redder. "You're my life support, Harry. I truly can't live without you. Please give us another chance. Can we start over?" "You've got to be kidding." In the next second, the place exploded. "Have you read too many romance novels, thinking you're the world's female lead? You're not losing your mind, right? Think you can fool me 'cause I'm amnesiac? Keep dreaming." Harry's eyes were full of disdain, like he was watching an idiot. "Look at your face, like a QR code. Without scanning it, who knows what it is?" Lily couldn't help but jump in. "Harry, you're a man, how can you talk to Wendy like that? Can't you see she's crying?" Harry sneered, "What, men can't cry? If only you used your energy for gender rivalry to think, there'd be less fluff in your head." Lily was dumbfounded for a while before realizing Harry was calling her stupid. "Harry, you're too much. Wendy just came back from abroad, and now you've suddenly lost your memory. What does that say? Obviously, even fate wants you two back together. As your friend, here's some advice, dump Kate now since you don't remember her anyway." Bam! The wine bottle hit the coffee table hard. Harry stared at her expressionless. "Who do you think you are to meddle in my business?" Lily was petrified, her face went pale white. Wendy had tears in her eyes. "Harry, Lily is my best friend, she's doing this for us." "Oh, your so-called best friend once sent me some risque photos one summer night during junior year, asking me to meet at a hotel." Harry's words were simple yet powerful, like tossing a torpedo into a deep pool. It blew everything up. Lily was stunned. Wendy was motionless. My mind raced, thinking back to junior year. Harry and Wendy hadn't broken up yet. What was Lily's play here, backstabbing a friend? What juicy gossip? The room was still buzzing. Harry's mouth was like a machine gun, firing away. "Lily, I've tolerated you for a long time because of David. But since you keep pushing my buttons, you're digging your own grave. Who was it that sent flirtatious texts and came crying for forgiveness the next day? I even filmed you sobbing. Maybe now's a good time for a trip down memory lane?" Lily's face was as white as paper. Wendy was trembling. Lily, you. Shut up. Who said you could talk here? Harry sneered. Is your head made of plastic? Can't you take a hint? You act like a victim, but you're just a manipulative tea sipper. Go home and practice your lousy acting. Harry went all out. Seeing Lily and Wendy being knocked off their game was almost satisfying. I couldn't help but clap. Nicely done. 3 pairs of eyes turned to me. Oops, caught in the act. I calmly stepped in, walked over to Harry. Nice job. As if they could fool me, Harry smirked. Anyone who falls for their tricks is an idiot. I got a bit moonstruck looking at him. My heart was pounding. The current Harry, no longer restrained, was bold and free, just like the first time I fell for him. I was loving it. While I enjoyed the show and Harry's righteous fury, others were hurt and confused. Like David outside the door, who overheard everything. He clutched a towel, turning into a statue, his face shifting from confusion to rage in seconds. It was heartbreaking. Suddenly, I recalled, David and Lily had also been in a long-term relationship, even longer than Harry's. About 8 years. That night was chaotic. David ended it all with a furious shout, Lily, I'm breaking up with you. I'm done serving you, as her right cheek reddened from the slap. As I left, I saw Wendy and Lily pulling at each other, strands of hair flying and twirling the air. The once close sisterhood crumbling, turning into a petty drama in minutes. When I got home, I vaguely realized. I cornered Harry at the door. Did you do it on purpose? On purpose, exposing Lily's filthy mind in front of Wendy, to make them fight each other. Harry had this tiny habit. When he's plotting, he unconsciously touches his little finger. I noticed this during the room chaos. Harry clicked his tongue. He didn't speak, but his expression said it all. As for poor David, Harry shrugged. I hinted at David back then, but he didn't believe me. With withdrawn photos and texts, there's no concrete proof left. After a night of chaos, I was sweaty, so I showered and went straight to bed. In a half-asleep state, I felt someone lie beside me and kiss my face. Full of warmth and familiarity. Wait, what? I shot my eyes open to see Harry comfortably lying on the other side of the bed, shirtless. I struggled to drag my eyes away from his six-pack, heart racing, and kicked him off the bed without hesitation. Thud. Harry was utterly baffled as he stood up from the floor. With a smile, I told him, the guest room, the couch, the floor, whatever works. Just not the bed. I hadn't forgotten how he referred to me as his nurse. He needed to learn his lesson. Harry was baffled for a moment, then angry. This is my house. He insisted. I grinned at him. Well, it's mine now. A year ago, Harry transferred the house to my name. Half asleep, I flipped through the property deed. Harry was heartbroken. Sitting at the edge of the bed, his imaginary tail between his legs. Playfully, I asked, have you figured out where you're sleeping? Harry gave me a pitiful glare, kicking me out in the middle of the night. Are you really my wife? I raised an eyebrow and threw his words back at him. Didn't you say you don't like my type anymore? Harry stiffened, his silence uncharacteristically pouty. Dealing with him was easy peasy. After getting enough satisfaction, I laid down a foam mat on the bedroom floor and handed him a blanket. He could sleep there for now. Considering his amnesia, we'd deal with it later. In the middle of the night, half awake, I felt someone hug me, then a kiss landed on my cheek. Along with the low, murmuring wife. The familiar warmth encircled me. Thinking it was a dream, I turned and snuggled closer to the warmth. Waking up to that face looming large next to me, nope, no dream. Deep breath and a swift kick sent him rolling off the bed again, crashing to the floor. That woke him right up. Touching his hurt waist indignantly, he stated, so savage, you can't be my wife. After eating the breakfast Harry cooked in a low mood, a call came in. It was from my in-laws all the way from abroad. Originally, we were supposed to pick them up from the airport yesterday afternoon. But no one expected their flight would get caught in a snowstorm halfway, forcing them to stop at a transfer station. Their return had to be delayed. "Kate, thank you for taking care of Harry," my mother-in-law vouched over the video call. "If he acts out or bullies you, go ahead and hit him, don't be shy." Harry got upset. "Mom, could you care a bit about me?" Grandma rolled her eyes. "You brat, how dare you bring that up? If you hadn't lost your memory out of nowhere, none of this crap would have happened. I'm telling you, I've only accepted Kate as my daughter-in-law. If you try anything funny, I won't let you off." Harry was like, "I'm your son." Grandma replied, "Or not." Listening to this mother-son banter felt like listening to a comedy show. Harry definitely inherited half his sharp tongue from his grandma. As for the other half of that DNA, his grandpa popped into the frame. Remember, the best gift a man can give a woman is fidelity, so don't use memory loss as an excuse to mess around. Harry's face turned dark. I was in stitches in the background. As much as they bicker, Grandma and Grandpa really are concerned about Harry's condition. They even suggested we revisit places we used to date to jog his memory. I thought that was pretty smart. So Harry and I went back to our favorite amusement park. We hit up all the rides we used to laugh on together. Midway, I went to grab a bottle of water. When I came back, a bunch of young girls had surrounded Harry, giggling and asking for his contact information. "Hey, cutie, you're so handsome. Do you have a girlfriend? How about we be your girlfriend?" For a second there, it felt like Harry was a hot item at a market, and I didn't like that feeling at all. "Sorry, not happening," Harry said, not even glancing up as he showed off the couple ring on his finger that matched mine. The girls got the hint and awkwardly left. Watching it all, my mood went from cloudy to sunny real quick. We continued exploring the amusement park. When we were completely worn out, I asked, "Remember anything?" There was a hint of hope in my voice. Harry was silent for a bit, then shook his head. "Sorry." Even though I knew it might be the case, I couldn't help but feel a little disappointed. The doctor said the blood clot on the back of his head wasn't large, and his memory should come back once it dissolved. But when will that be? Unknowingly, we found ourselves under the Ferris wheel. I noticed Harry looking at it with a thoughtful expression. "This feels familiar. Have we been here before?" I snorted softly. "Duh. This was the spot where he first won me over." This was the first time Harry, post-amnesia, held my hand and led us onto the Ferris wheel. As the cabin lifted us up, everything felt familiar, sitting across the same person. For a moment, it was like we were back 6 months ago when he proposed to me right under this Ferris wheel. With flower petals everywhere, surrounded by friends and family, he got down on one knee. That was the happiest moment I'll never forget. As we reached the top, I reflexively glanced at the seat across from me and found Harry staring at me intently. Such depth in his eyes, it created the illusion that he truly loved me. Being stared at made my heart race, and I quickly looked away only to hear his low voice. "Don't move." Harry reached out, brushing his hand over my hair, plucking away a leaf I didn't know was there. The unexpected gesture had butterflies swirling in my stomach, so much that I almost tripped stepping out of the cabin. Harry quickly caught me. "Careful." Seeing the genuine worry on his face, I couldn't help but smile and gave him a quick peck on the cheek. "Thanks, boyfriend." Harry froze for a moment, his ears turning slightly red. Then he tried to lecture me. "Technically speaking, I'm not yet, so stop taking advantage of me." But his arms stayed wrapped around my waist as we descended the stairs. I hummed a little tune, feeling so sweet inside. Gotcha, easy as pie. Sadly, the good mood didn't last long. I couldn't figure it out. Even after Harry dismissed and refuted her multiple times, why did Wendy keep clinging to him? I simply didn't believe she suddenly had a change of heart. We're all grown-ups here, it's been over 3 years since they broke up. How much of that past love could possibly remain? There was only one possibility. There's something Wendy definitely wanted from Harry. Apparently, Wendy came prepared this time. She went all out, in a white dress and veil, holding flowers, and went up to Harry. With a dramatic flair, she got down on one knee. Her eyes filled with tears as she gazed at Harry. Harry, 7 years ago, I made the most regrettable decision of my life. Now that I have another chance, I don't want to live with regret. This time, I'll be the brave one. Will you marry me? Even more infuriating, Wendy whined at me. There's no such thing as first come, first served in love, only those not loved are wrong. Even the heavens favor me and Harry. Please, Kate, do us a favor and let me have Harry. Like hell, I will. I flipped my switch right then and there. Wendy made this proposal so grand, even wearing a microphone. The loudspeaker drew in all the nearby tourists. Her performance deceived a lot of people. Oh my God, she's so bold, chasing happiness like that. There aren't many brave girls like her. They must have been really in love, don't miss this chance. Be together, be together, be together. Someone started chanting. Soon, the crowd was echoing with cheers. All those curious eyes made me feel like an animal on display, one verging on growing a tuft of grass from the top of my head. In the end, it's all Harry's fault. The more I thought about it, the angrier I got. I turned around and twisted Harry's arm hard. You caused this mess, fix it. If you can't, you can go to the wedding next month by yourself. Harry winced in pain but turned around to vent his anger at Wendy. Wendy, are you stupid or something? Do you really need me to call you out before you get it? We broke up 3 years ago. You know what breaking up means, right? It means if you died, I wouldn't even bother to buy a single flower for your grave. Harry, I just like you so much. Wendy sobbed, turning her gaze on me. How can you misunderstand me like this? Didn't someone jump in when you lost your memory to lie and mislead you? I scoffed before I could even speak, but Harry was already laughing in disbelief. Who gave you the guts to diss my wife right in front of me? Not only are you unattractive, but you're also ugly inside. And don't take others for fools, either. You keep approaching me again and again, what's your real motive? Well said. I rooted for Harry in my heart, wondering why Wendy was so persistent. Looking at Wendy still on one knee, she seemed shocked, as if her secret had been exposed. Tears forced out were still in the corners of her eyes, combined with her shocked expression, it looked funny and ridiculous. Then, she ran away again, leaving behind a bunch of onlookers looking dumbfounded. Harry scoffed, pulled my hand, and got us out of there. His smug face said it all. Once I step in, you know what's up. I couldn't stand it, so I pinched him several times. That's all it takes for you to get full of yourself? Some things really don't warrant celebrating so soon. Not a couple of days later. Bad news from Larry. The project that Harry and I spent half a year prepping for went bust. Thanks to Wendy. Harry and I started a company together. He's the big boss, I'm the GM, known jokingly in the industry as the perfect pair. Last year, we took on a big project and we'd been hustling for months. We were counting on it for financial freedom. We were so close to having the money in pocket, and then it flew away in a blink. We were lost. Someone from the other side dropped a hint. It was connected to a viral local video. As luck would have it, it showed Wendy on one knee proposing to Harry at the amusement park. Captioned with, 7 years of her youth, all for nothing. Immediately, Harry and I were branded as scumbag and tramp, with people pitying Wendy. There were folks who tried to clear things up for us. But it didn't last long before the owner of the account deleted the truth, leaving nothing but awful comments for us. A classic case of black and white flipped. As luck would have it, the partner company was helmed by a divorced lady boss. Her marriage fell apart cause of an affair with a third party. Labeling us with those tags, no way she could tolerate us. Even though we quickly explained, she clearly mistrusted me. Soon after, she signed with our competition instead. Months of effort and dedication down the drain. Though the company wasn't fundamentally hurt, I was furious. Harry was even angrier. He had a stress sit right on his nose. He bunked at the office, then came to me with evidence saying, "Let's go report this." We got Wendy a free meal in jail. We came out of the police station feeling refreshed. Finally learned why Wendy couldn't let go of Harry. It was job-related. Turns out her ex ditched her a year ago, so she got into a shady business. Specifically, doing dirty deeds. Ruining marriages with false infidelity claims. Causing misunderstandings between family members leading to lifelong separation. Businesses hoping to go public brought to ruin with scandals, eventually bankrupting and leaving debts. Wendy and her team made millions exploiting this scheme, messing up families and businesses. She was hired big bucks by our rival. Thought using the old flame angle could sabotage our project. Harry lost his memory, but still, Wendy couldn't get close. So they resorted to gossip. Too bad for them, they messed with Harry. In the end, they slipped up. The cops issued a warrant for Wendy. As expected, that account was also her doing. No way they're getting out in less than 10 years. Wreaked havoc on so many, time to pay for their stupidity. I booked your favorite grilled fish, let's celebrate tonight. As we were crossing the street, Harry held my hand. Thinking of that grilled fish I used to love, I suddenly felt nauseated. I want something lighter. Before I could finish, a black car came out of nowhere straight at me. I was frozen in fear. "Kate!" Harry shouted desperately. The next second, he yanked me back. The car crashed into a barrier and flipped over. Behind shattered glass, Wendy's bloody face appeared crazed and obsessed. Everything went black, and I passed out completely. Wendy got arrested on the spot. Added attempted murder to her charges. She might never leave prison. Harry told me all these after I woke up. Right now, he was entirely focused on taking care of me in the hospital bed. "Here, some fresh soup, have a little." Just as I opened my mouth, the nausea hit, and I couldn't hold it, gag. Harry expertly pulled out a trash bag, waited till I was done, then tied it up and dumped it. Then resumed coaxing me to eat. I shook my head, too uncomfortable to speak. Harry frowned, worried that if I don't eat, both me and the baby would be in trouble. Yup. I'm pregnant, 7 weeks along. I fainted on the street because of early pregnancy. The nurse later told me Harry rushed me into the ER, sweating buckets. Yelling for them to save his wife like it was life and death. When they confirmed I was pregnant, he just froze. The doctor had to call him 3 times to pay for the tests, then he grabbed the doctor's hand. "I'm going to be a dad, is this for real?" "You're not joking, Doc?" "Heh, I got a kid, I'm gonna be a dad." I tried to imagine Harry's goofy, new dad look from the nurse's story. Then looked at the composed Harry sitting beside me now. Men. What an act he could put on. I patted my belly, silently telling the baby. "Don't take after your dad's two-faced ways, it'll make dating harder." Because of the pregnancy, we moved the wedding up by a week. Thankfully, Harry's parents flew in from abroad, and mine came from out of state. With all 4 parents involved, everything went smoothly. After the toasting almost wrapped up, Harry was with me helping remove makeup backstage when an uninvited guest showed. "Harry, how could you do this to me?" A young girl with short hair burst in, teary-eyed. "We're the perfect match, known each other since childhood, promised to each other." "You're marrying someone else, remember the vows?" Harry froze, frowning. "Sandy, why are you here? If I didn't come, how would I know you betrayed our love?" Sandy sobbed and pointed at me, "What she got that I don't?" I pressed my lips. "Harry, who is this, why haven't I seen her before?" "If you don't even know me, then clearly, to Harry, you're not that important." Sandy smirked, looking smug. I glanced at Harry, eyebrows knitting in disappointment. "Babe, don't listen to her nonsense. Harry panicked. She's my sister. No blood relation though. Sandy hinted wildly. Sandy, shut it. Harry shouted in frustration, then turned and whispered, honey, even though you've never met her, didn't I tell you about this on our first date? Oh, I remember now, she replied, you did mention it. I grinned at Harry and repeated, on our first date. So, you remember everything. Sandy burst out laughing and gave me a thumbs up, way to go, sis-in-law. Harry, with a gloomy face, kicked everyone out and locked the door. Then he was on his knees again, honey, I was wrong. I smiled coldly. Stupid man. Serves you right. On the night after the wedding, Harry, now a pro at this, was kneeling on a keyboard, apologizing. He admitted that he regained his memory. It happened while investigating Wendy. He was so busy at work, he didn't sleep for days. Overused his brain. After a dizzy spell, everything came back to him. So why didn't you tell me then? I questioned Harry. He averted his gaze nervously. I was afraid you'd scold me. Clearly, he understood how serious that slip of the tongue was when he called the nurse. And repeatedly saying you're not my wife these days. You're sharp and smart as always, honey. Harry slid closer trying to win me over, nothing escapes your eyes. Then he mumbled to himself, confused. I thought I acted pretty well. I rolled my eyes secretly. He didn't know he had slipped up when we got out of the police station. How could amnesiac Harry know I love grilled fish? And the meticulous care during my hospital stay had already made me suspicious. That's when I messaged Sandy, asking her to help catch him red-handed. Sandy was the daughter of my father-in-law's army buddy. She became an orphan after her father died, and was taken in by my in-laws. After high school, she followed in her father's footsteps and became a proud soldier. During the 3 years Harry and I dated, she couldn't return due to her job's nature. We'd never officially met, so I used that fact to catch Harry off guard. That night, I sent Harry to the guest room. To make him truly understand the consequences of not wanting a wife. But the next morning, when I woke up, there was someone beside me. So familiar. Harry had his arms wrapped around my waist and kissed me before even opening his eyes. Morning. I sighed. This time, for the baby's sake, I didn't kick him off. What can I do? I picked this husband myself. Gotta put up with him.